Yo, what's good YouTubes? This is your boy in the NYC.
It's me, Ray, and this is the EDCC.
That's Everyday City Carry.
And today, we are in
the movie room. Because I haven't filmed in here for a while. I haven't done one of these solo monologue things. The direct dialogue with the audience that isn't even here.
But you guys are here, aren't you?
I know some people are gonna be like, where are the shots of the city? Well, I am in the city right now. I just, I'm probably not gonna show that in this video because I'm saving the clips for another one that I might release this week. Sort of working on it. I'm working on it. Alright. But today we're gonna have sort of a special video. I am gonna do a comparison, a sort of versus vid, if you will, of the Kizer Dukes, which I have in my pocket right now, in N690. And, you know, compare it with CIVIVI knives, which I freaking love. You guys know I love CIVIVI. So let's get to it.
Now, first up, we have got the CIVIVI Praxis. Now, I'm going to spend a little more time on this guy because I've never reviewed this thing, and the homie, shout out to the Matthew Baker, actually donated this knife to the channel. And I'm keeping it, man. I'm keeping it. I'm on a sort of adventure to get all these CIVIVI knives, at least one color of each in my collection. I think I'm missing the Navaja, the Corsair, and the Backlash. I've got everything else, and man, I am waiting for that CIVIVI McKenna, which I wish I could have put in this video, man. I thought it was gonna come out this week, but I think it's coming out next week. But let's get back to the Praxis. Alright, so the aesthetics of this thing, I really like it, man, alright? This looks like a really sturdy folder. It feels like one too. And this blade shape, which I cannot explain, I really dig, man. It's got, seems to have good piercing power, at least in my experience. And yeah, man, it was slamming through boxes really easily. Now the weight, this thing is heavy as okay, this thing is 4.42 ounces. It is a little bit bigger, and the blade is longer than the other knives I have here. This is at about 3.75 inch blade length. For materials, you've got G10 handle scales. It's got a grippy texture. It's pretty simple looking, but it does the job, you know? The blade steel. The blade steel is an interesting one. This is 9CR18 MOV. You know, ATR13 MOV's big brother. Shout out to ATR13 MOV. And let me give you an explanation literally taken from steelwillknives.com. High carbon chromium bearing steel that is corrosion resistant. It is a steel that is known to keep its cutting edge and has good corrosion resistance. Alright? Blades made from this grade of steel are easy to sharpen. 9CR18 MOV is one of the most popular knife steels in the world and is a great value in terms of price and quality. Well, you heard that. It's like 8CR13 MOV on steroids. Shout out to 8CR13 MOV. The ergonomics are pretty good, alright? They're pretty good, especially from a fish paws. I do have small fish paw hands. I've got to remind you guys of that. So if you have larger hands, you'll feel right at home with this one. This thing feels great for rougher jobs. I mean, I've only used it in the office, cutting cardboard and doing shipping stuff and all that. And I liked it for that. This is running on stainless steel bearings. And the action is, man, it's pretty stiff, alright? I was expecting, since the blade was a little bit bigger, a little heavier, that this thing would rocket out. But actually, I can't give this an all-day flipper award. You know what I mean? This is not an all-day flipper. It was just a little stiff for me, the action. The pocket clip is deep carry. It's like sort of I got the stainless steel one on this, it looks like. It's not the black coated one. And what I've been doing is, I don't know what channel gave me this tip, but I've been taking out the first screw, like sort of on the bottom of these deep carry clips, and just leaving the top one, and it just comes in and out of the pocket much easier. Now the last category we're going to talk about for these knives, the Praxis's price. is $42.50, which is pretty low for the amount of knife you get. Now what's the next thing that we got on here? The CIVIVI Wyvern. Now for aesthetics, you've got a dragon scaling pattern for the FRN handle scales, and they look freaking amazing. I've got a review of this up, and yeah, go check that out. It's nice. The blade shape is pretty cool. I can tell you this much right now. You can flick it with your thumb through that hole there. The weight is at 3 ounces, and I gotta tell you, this thing feels lighter than 3 ounces to me. I had to Google it, but when I was handling this knife, I was like, man, this is pretty light. The FRN handle scales look and feel great. You know, you would think that maybe this would have hot spottage due to that scaling pattern. Nah. It felt great in my small fish paws. If I actually had scales, they would feel great on these scales. The pocket clip is the titanium pocket clip that some CIVIVIs have. I do not like that actually. I do like the deep carry clips much better. Now the action is nice and effortless, man. Alright, like I said before, you can do the sort of thumb hole opening thing, and these are running on stainless steel bearings. And for the price, is $49.30. Now next up, we got the CIVIVIAquila, and the price steps up a little bit on this one. We'll get back to that later. The blade shape is really cool. It reminds me a lot of the rectifier, the Wii rectifier, and again, useful for slicing and a little bit of piercing. The handle scales also remind me of the rectifier as well, man. Now the weight on this is 4.10 ounces. What the? It's pretty heavy in my book, man. This thing feels super heavy. The blade steel is VG10 at about 3.45 inches. And I don't have a lot of experience in VG10. I do feel it's better than ATR13 MOV. Shout out to ATR13 MOV. The ergonomics, I do like it. It does fit well in the hand, especially with the jimping. You got a little finger choil, and the flipper sort of acts as a guard, if that's the proper term for it. So you've got a nice grip here. The lanyard hole is freaking weird. X that out. And this thing has a titanium pocket clip. Again, I do like the deep carry ones much better. It's running on ceramic ball bearings. The action, this is sort of an all-day flipper despite its size, man. I can flip this thing all day. It's not the smoothest CIVIVI I have, but I do like it. And your price is going to be $68. The next knife we got on deck is the Statera, alright? It's got a pretty unique blade shape, man. I kind of like it. The carbon fiber overlay on the handle is done really well. It looks really great with the G10, almost seamless. You've got a weight of 3.7 ounces. And this is another one that I thought was lighter. 3.7 really surprised me. Had to Google that, just like I did all the other facts in this video because I can't memorize shit. You've got a D2 blade steel of 3.5 inches. I do think that it fares pretty well in the edge retention department. I do like that. Now the ergos are very good on the Statera. This is actually one of my favorite CIVIVI knives ever. And yeah, feels great in the fish paws. Another reminder, I do have small fish paws, so keep that in mind. I think these would be good for like small to medium hands. And even larger hands would be comfortable holding this thing. This has the titanium pocket clip though, come on. I wish it was the deep carry one. And this is running on stainless steel bearings. And I gotta say, the Statera has one of the best CIVIVI actions. And for the price, you've got $68. The Anthropos is the next knife on deck. And this is the first Elijah Isham knife I've ever owned. It's got sort of an Isham blade shape. That's what I'm gonna call them because when I see shapes like this, I'm just like, ah, Isham made that. The carbon fiber overlay looks really great on this. I like the way it's done. It doesn't look rushed and fits very well on the blue G10 I've got here. And guess what? No gold liners. Didn't mention that on the others. CIVIVI was on this gold liner kick. But not on the Anthropos here. You've got a weight of 3.28 ounces. This thing feels just about as heavy as that. I expected it to be lighter because it's pretty, you know, it's smaller, but nah, it's 3.28. You've got D2 blade steel at 3.25 inches. The ergonomics are really good, man. Isham is kind of known for these weird fantasy-esque knives. And the ergonomics are great here. It's got his signature sort of index finger loopy thing that I really like. And this is running on stainless steel bearings. The action, despite the small Isham flipper, which disappears into the handle, the action on this is it's pretty good, man. It's not the best action on the CIVIVIs that I have, but I do like it. And you've got the deep carry pocket clip on this one. And I've also taken out that first screw there for much better in and out of pocket action. Now the next knife on deck, we've got the Plethoros. Now I am just gonna say this right now. I do not like the carbon fiber overlay on this thing. There is one more knife that has an even worse carbon fiber overlay in the CIVIVI line, in my opinion, but I really don't like it, man. I kind of almost wish it wasn't there. The Isham blade shape on this, pretty awesome and useful, man. You've got a lot of piercage and good slicer. It's more pierceful than the Anthropos. Pierceful? Now again, you don't have the gold liners, which is a blessing to some people. The weight is at about 3.17 ounces. This is a bigger knife than the Anthropos, but it's lighter, which is kind of crazy. You've got D2 blade steel, 3.45 inches. This is kind of large for my book, man. I try to keep it under 3.25. And the ergonomics are perfect for the fish paws. I really like this sort of it's got like this curve at the butt of the knife there. And it kind of rests your pinky finger really easily. So, and it's got of course that sort of signature Isham index finger loopy hole thing on the handle scales, which lends itself to even better ergonomics. You've got the deep carry clip. And again, I took out that first screw to make it better in and out of pocket. This is running on stainless steel ball bearings. The action on the Plethoros I feel is better than on the Anthropos, maybe because of the bigger blade. And the price, $74.80. And this is cheaper than Anthropos. Huh? So let me get this straight. You get more blade, but it's cheaper. And the last CIVIVI we have on deck is my favorite, which is the Shard. I really like the Shard, man. It's small, and I like the blade shape. Like I said, the size is perfect. I hate the carbon fiber overlay on this thing. I kind of wish that it wasn't even there. Like, it doesn't even need to be there, man. It really doesn't. I dig the back spacer. Yo, those gold liners, bruh. I like them. I'm sorry, guys, but I do like the gold liners. The weight is at about 3.12 ounces, and the blade steel is D2 at 2.95 inches. And you know what I always say? If it's sub 3, it's from me. The ergonomics is, it's good, man. It's great for the small fish paws. My homie JT and I had a conversation about it, and he said he didn't like the Shard at all because it felt weird in hand, you know? But since I got the small fish paws, this thing is perfect for me. You've got the titanium pocket clip on this. I really wish it was a deep carry one. I think you can switch these out. I haven't tried that. Maybe I will. Now this is running on ceramic ball bearings, and if you ask me, hey Ray, what's the difference between stainless steel ball bearings and ceramic ball bearings? I'm gonna tell you that people usually like ceramic ball bearings better, and I'm gonna end the convo there and just kind of walk away at that point. Now the action on the CIVIVI Shard is my favorite CIVIVI action, okay? It just flies right out, even for a small blade, man. So I really dig that. This is 100% an all-day flipper. And you've got a price, at $68. And now we got sort of the star of the show. You got the Kizer Dukes in N690. Alright, I don't know why I keep saying it that way, but the blade shape is really interesting. Not gonna explain it here, but I can tell you that it was freaking useful, at least for the work that I do. The G10 looks absolutely beautiful, okay? I really like the way Kizer does their G10. This sort of reminds me of the pattern on the Kizer Small Hunter GTI. And I really love that, man. Now the weight is at 2.64 ounces, okay? It's kind of like Kizer said, oh, you want to make 3-inch knives? Hold my beer. And then they made a 2.64 ounce one. This thing feels super, super light. And it is amazing. The N690 blade steel, don't know a lot about it. The 3-inch blade length is perfect for my EDC. What I can tell you is I have not sharpened the Kizer Dukes at all. I think maybe I stropped it once or twice, and I've carried this thing, I guess a total of 3 weeks already. So, you know, edge retention is still pretty good, man. I'm not really noticing a lot of hiccups yet. The ergonomics. This thing feels really great in hand. Alright, you've got a little choily thing there. And, yeah, it feels good, man. I think this is really great for people with my size hands, sort of on the small size. I haven't really heard anyone complain about the ergonomics of this thing. You've got this crappy stainless steel pocket clip that's not deep carry and doesn't look great at all, but it does come in and out of the pocket really easily. Now the action on the Kizer Dukes is probably the star of the show, man, because this beats out the rest of the knives that I have here. Maybe the CIVIVI Shard also has a great action, but it's not as effortless as the Kizer Dukes, okay? The Dukes just dukes it out with the other CIVIVIs, and it can definitely hold its own, okay? With a price of $69. You know, I've never said this on the channel before, but sort of below the $100 range, maybe 60, between 60 and 100 is sort of my sweet spot in price of knives because I'm not Scrooge McDuck. Shout out to Scrooge McDuck. And you know, I just don't buy a lot of knives over $100. If I do, sort of a big event for me, you know? So yeah, all in all, man, the Kizer Dukes, I did not do a full review on it. I just wanted to do sort of a different video for you guys, you know what I mean? So you guys don't get bored, and also I don't get bored, and we keep watching and, you know, kind of hanging out and riffing together and all that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is your boy in the NYC. It's me, Ray, and this is the EDCC saying peace.